Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tally, once again back with another video for you guys. Now today I do want to speak about listening to your inner voice. So important, guys. Honestly, I'm just now starting to listen and trust and go by that voice. You know, earlier in life, it was kind of hard to do so because you don't know it like that. It's in you, but you don't know if you like tripping. You don't know if you just being paranoid. You don't know if it's just like, you're just freaking yourself out about certain things. So you don't really, take to that voice. You don't really listen to that voice. And then you get to a point that you're saying, this voice is a voice that's been with me for a long time. And not only for a long time, it's always been telling me the right thing to do for me. And I always choose to disregard it, or maybe most of the time I've chosen to disregard it. And then when I disregard it, bad things happen. And then I turn around in hindsight, I see that I should have always listened to this voice. And that voice is your inner voice, people. Like I said, I am just starting to listen to this voice because I just had an epiphany, and that I had an epiphany and I was just thinking, I was like, wow, if I really listen to this voice, there's so many things that would not have happened the way it did. And it's kind of like I don't know, like a crossroads, or it's like a boundary for me, like a thin line, I would say. Because on one half, I feel like the things that I've went through were a learning experience, and the things that I've learned, I'm now able to add it to me. It adds value to me in the sense of more wisdom, more knowledge, more understanding. And it did grow me as a person and character and things of that sort. So it has empowered me, the things that I've been through where I didn't listen to that voice. But also at the same time, it's like, dang, there's a lot of heartache and heartbreak that I could have avoided if I did listen to that voice. I'm telling you guys, this voice is very important. I believe everybody has this voice. I believe everybody has this voice. Maybe some people, maybe I wouldn't say they don't have the voice, but I'm saying that they've disregarded it so long and done the opposite. The voice is not, it's not very loud, it's not very apparent within them. But I'm telling you right now that we pay the price for not listening to this voice. And that's what I was thinking of. The price that is paid for you not listening to this voice. Yeah, it's okay that we go through certain things and we learn from it, we grow from it, and we use our pain for purpose. Come on now. And it begins to empower us in life. That's a great thing. That's a great thing. But do we honestly want to keep going through trials and tribulations, and some of us the same kind of trial and tribulations? I mean, let's be honest, we're always gonna go through something, okay? Let's say that. But some of us go through the same thing all over and over again. The same kind of relationships, the same kind of trauma, the same kind of drama. We experience it over and over again, just different people or different scenario. And it's like, we have to get to the point where we just want to grow. We want to learn the lesson that we're supposed to learn so we can move on to different things, because there's always something else. There's always something better. There's always a new level out there, and you don't want to get trapped at the same thing that you're going through over and over again. So if that's the case, then that inner voice is so important for you to connect with. Think about it. That voice that speaks to you. And let me tell you something, that inner voice is not going to tell you anything harmful. Okay, because I know there's other voices that speak too, that could be seen as, that could tell you something harmful, that could tell you something that is not that's not conducive to your well-being, So, but that inner voice that must be identified, this voice is not going to tell you to do anything harmful to yourself. It's not going to tell you to do anything harmful to yourself. It's not going to tell you to do anything harm to other people. All this voice is going to tell you is something that I don't know if to you it might something that seems right, because other people got different morals, different compasses, but this voice is gonna be aligned with morality. It's gonna be aligned with virtue. And that's what I want to tell you. The voice is going to be, it's never going to tell you to do something detrimental to yourself. It may want to tell you to do something like apologize if you're wrong. And you may not be feeling like apologizing. I'll tell you that right now. But other than that, this voice is always going to tell you to do the right thing. And that voice is in you. It's in your heart. It's connected to your heart and in your mind. And when I just think about, there's so many instances that the voice said, hey, listen, don't do this. And particularly, if you know me, I'm going to speak about relationships. Different people have come into my life, and today I can honestly tell you there is not one person that have come into my life that this voice didn't say, like, this person's not for you, like, be careful, like, no, this person's not for you, you need to stop associating with this person. And that's just not even only relationships, that's even like friends and stuff like that. That's friends, associates, all of that. Like the voice will tell you straight up, like, yo, well, I don't know if your voice speaks like that, straight up, like, yo, that's how I speak. That's not how my voice speaks. But my voice will tell you, like, yo, this person is not for you. This person is not for you. And then there's going to be so many signs. There's going to be so many feelings that you get on the inside of you. Because sometimes the voice doesn't actually speak. The voice, you just have a feeling in your heart. You got to listen to your heart. And you have to listen to what your heart is telling you. And the voice is telling you, like, no, you got to let this person go. This person's not right for you. This situation, don't go do this. Don't go do that. It's going to hurt you in the end. So it's not only about people, but it's about different situations you find yourself in. It's going to be like, don't do this. Don't do this. This is going to hurt you later. Okay. Anything that you feel like doing out of emotion, out of anger, out of resentment, out of sadness, it's going to tell you, don't do this. Don't do this. And it's so important that you listen to that voice, because that voice knows what's best for you. It is your inner self. It's your spirit. It could even be God. It could even be God. It could be God communicating with your spirit to let you know, listen, to warn you, to give you warnings, or to give you confirmations about something. Anything that you need, all you have to do is listen. You go into a quiet space, a quiet room, but you don't always need to be in a quiet room, but sometimes it helps to sit down in a quiet room. Or even if that voice could just speak to you very boldly, or it could be a quiet voice. Either way, listen to it. When you listen to it, it's going to tell you the right thing to do. And we pay the price. I was speaking to my mom about it, because my mom, she's recently as well, she's discovered her inner voice. Or let's say she's not discovered, I won't say she discovered it, but she's recently found out, like, that is something that she should have always listened to. Along her whole life, that voice has been speaking to her, and many times she's disregarded the voice, as have I, as have many of you listening to this video. We have disregarded that voice, and every time we disregard that voice, it never fails. Do you see how it just never fails, that you disregard that voice, and then it's just like the fallout, or when I say the fallout, the consequences of whatever action, the effect of whatever action or whatever thing that you took that voice told you not to do, or to get out of, or to get away from, whatever you did, the fallout is great. The consequences is great. And then you just end up at the end telling yourself, like, I should have listened. I knew it. I should have listened. Though that's usually what people say when they have a hard time listening to that inner voice. Eventually they're like, I knew this. Something told me. I knew this would be like this. But I'm here today to tell you that, can we stop waiting until whatever that voice was warning us about happens? Because there's a lot of danger, there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of heartbreak that we could avoid unnecessarily, that we could avoid if we would just listen to that voice. Because there's some things that come to test you so you can grow into a better person, but there's other things that come to try to hold you back. that try to hold you back. You're doing good. You're on a good streak, doing well in life. And then something comes, and because you can't listen to your inner voice, you can't trust it, you can't identify, you can't connect with it, you allow something to happen, and then it sets you back for 6 months. It sets you back for a year. Okay, I'm talking to myself right now, but the setbacks be great. So there's some setbacks in life, especially when we're on a good path and we're moving forward. We don't need it. You don't need that type of setback. Not every setback is a setback. You're like, okay, it's good that it happens because I get to learn and grow. No. Not everything needs to be a setback. There's sometimes that God has you on a path and he's moving you forward. And then something gets sent in your way. The enemy sends something for your way. The powers that be that are against you send something your way to try to get you off your good track, to try to knock you off your focus. And the only way, one of the only ways, probably the only way to identify some of them, because a lot of them is not going to be, a lot of the distractions, a lot of the things that come to bring drama and trauma into your life, to add on to it, a lot of things, it's not going to be a bold thing. It's not going to be bold. It's not strategic if it's bold. It's not a good distraction if it's bold. A lot of those things are going to be very strategic. It's going to be well thought out, well planned out, and it's going to be even hard to say no to. It's going to be hard to identify if it's a distraction at all. And that's what makes it a good distraction. So the only way we're going to be able to overcome that, to get past that, is even whenever situation, person makes itself known, appears into your life, you have to be able to listen to that voice. Listen to that voice when that voice tells you that, there's something wrong here. Because a lot of the times, and this is what happened to me, when that voice tells you, there's something wrong here, immediately, like currently at that moment, you don't see any signs of something being wrong. Most of the time, you don't see any immediate signs of something being wrong. The voice is telling you something's wrong, but everything's fine and dandy. Like everything's good. Everything looks like it's working out. It's going smoothly. There's nothing really, there's no red flags, like people like to call it, on the situation, So that it's going to be kind of confusing, because on one hand, everything is going fine. Everything is good. Everything looks like it's working out for whatever person or situation that has come into your life. But on the other hand, this voice, the voice on the inside of you is telling you, no, there's something wrong here. It's not for you. So what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to listen to your inner voice? Or are you just going to believe what you see? Because what you see is not always what it is. What you see, that inner voice goes deeper. That's why we should listen to it, because it sees deeper, it knows deeper. You only see what's with your two eyes, and what you see, what do they say? What you see could be deceiving. Okay, and that's what trips us up. We believe more in what we can see with our physical eyes, and we neglect what we can't see. We neglect what we feel. We neglect what that feeling, that intuition, that voice is telling us, especially us women. So many times things were going great. Things looked like they were going great. Things looked like they were perfect. And that inner voice was warning me. And I did not listen to that voice. And I'm telling you, I paid the price. I paid the consequences. So if I'm making this video today, it's because I myself chose and am choosing that I will no longer pay the consequences. I no longer want to pay the consequences for not listening to that voice. I want to listen to that voice now, so I don't end up getting into unnecessary drama and trauma later. I don't end up slowing down my process, my journey into being who God called me to be. Because that's really whatever situation, person, whatever has presented itself to you that's actually not for you, that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to slow down your journey. I'm telling you, that voice right there, it's more than rubies, it's more than gold. It means more than any kind of monetary thing. It's so precious. It's so precious, and it's something that you need to live your life by. Absolutely live your life by. And right now, before we get into that, when I say live your life by, it's because my life is already dedicated to the Lord, and I'm already trusting him to lead me. My temple is already pure, so I can trust that voice. If you're someone, you're living a different kind of lifestyle, you may need to allow God to clean up your life a little bit before you can trust that voice. Even though I do strongly believe there are people who are living a different kind of lifestyle that could still hear that voice calling out to them. So you decide which one you are, because that's just the mercy and grace of God. He still lets you have that voice, even if you choose not to listen to it, even if you do things that are contrary to it, you still have it telling you the right thing to do. So always listen to that voice. A most recent situation was, it's almost 2 years ago too, that I didn't listen to that voice. To this day, I struggle. And I believe the reason I struggle so much still with something that happened 2 years ago is because the person that I don't want to say deceive, but the person I betrayed was me. That's what hurts the most, because I betrayed myself, because my voice, my inner voice, not only my inner voice was telling me that this is not for you. Not only that, but there were certain signs that I also didn't listen to. So me neglecting the signs, neglecting my inner voice, that's what hurts the most about the situation. How I betrayed myself, because I knew. There's not a doubt in my mind that I didn't really truly know what was going on, but I chose to disregard it. And that's the main thing that I really every day, almost every day, I have to work on to make sure that doesn't happen again and to heal from it. The betrayal, my self-betrayal, not listening to that voice, forgiving myself for not listening to that voice. So there's a price to pay, some small, but some bigger. And sometimes, if I could be honest, it seems like the price gets bigger for not listening. Like before, it was smaller prices, and there's small prices, and then there's bigger prices. There's bigger prices to pay later. So you stop listening, you don't listen to it for the little things, and then things get bigger, different situations, different instances, different circumstances, different people make themselves known in your life, appear in your life, and you're not listening to it for that. It's going to be a bigger price. So think about the prices you've paid for not listening to that voice, and those prices get bigger. So you have to make the decision today. Who are you going to listen to? Are you going to be faithful to yourself? Are you gonna choose you? Are you gonna choose yourself first? Are you gonna respect yourself enough? Are you gonna be respectful of yourself? Are you gonna choose you first? Okay, because that's what it's about. Choose you first. Respect yourself enough, care for yourself enough, love yourself enough to choose you first. And no matter what it may seem like with your eyes, no matter how perfect whatever it is may seem like in your eyes, you still gonna respect yourself enough and love yourself enough to choose yourself first. You're gonna be loyal to yourself enough to choose yourself first, and not wait for the big fallout, the big reveal, the big consequences to see that what you already knew, what that inner voice was already telling you was right. Listen to your inner voice, people. Thank you, and have a nice day.